the Showdown, sketch comedy shows.
If you guys liked our first showdown, we're going big.
We're going huge.
We didn't just double down on the idea of a showdown series.
No.
What is the Jimmy as director?
Quadrupled?
No, that's 4 times. What's 8 times?
Well, it's 4 rounds.
Okay. Octuple.
It's not octuple, it's quadruple.
Jimmy, say hello.
Hello.
Okay, so what we're doing the whole month of August.
Correct.
Jeff.
Yeah.
This was sort of a combination plan between me and you. We're doing
his idea. I did the smarts.
implementation.
The smarts.
The entire month of August is one big playoff-style showdown because Jimmy has not watched a lot of sketch comedy
Which
shows.
is crazy to me because, like, there's 18 or 19, I forgot, shows that
we just thought of.
there's
Penny.
We're just keeping this in here.
Yep.
The dog hasn't been here for like a year.
Yeah.
As soon as we start recording a video, she's like, I'm going to rattle the entire time. I hate this. So it's crazy because Dan and I love all of these shows.
Yeah.
So we couldn't just like say, okay, I'm picking this, you're picking that, because we would get angry at each other. So to be fair, we're doing a draft, baby.
Right.
And I don't sport, so it took a lot of work to figure out how this bracket system
Jeff
works.
and I had to plan this way too much. But
Really, though.
what am I supposed to do?
I don't know, she's rattling and stuff.
Okay. So, Jeff, we had talked earlier, there's a little strategy that can come into play because
Yeah, there is.
this isn't the NBA playoffs, the NFL playoffs. We're not picking who we think is the best show, necessarily. I mean, we're picking who we think Jimmy will think is the best show. So,
We're going to flip a coin to see who goes first.
yeah.
So then there is some strategy because, like, if you pick first, the 8th person kind of has an advantage. I mean, they have 6 less options, but you can pick who you want to go against the first one. And then on this side, it's the first person, Dan, if he gets first pick, will have the advantage there. So there is some strategy.
It's also funny because you're someone who knows nothing about sports.
Correct.
And you're literally explaining playoff seeding, which is something that everyone in the world knows
but
about.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm explaining it to the people like me who like funds.
Three people. So, Jeff, since this is my home, I have home court advantage. I'm going to let you choose the coin toss.
Okay.
I think we should have Jimmy flip it.
Okay.
Flip that coin.
Since he's,
I'll call it in the air.
yeah. Jimmy, you can just flip it right onto the ground. That's how they do it in the NFL.
3, 2,
You don't have
1.
to count.
Tails because Sonic.
It's heads.
Okay.
Jeff, you can see it's heads.
It's heads.
So I get the first pick of the draft. Ooh, this is tough.
Oh boy.
Jeff put this board together, and I haven't had a lot of time with
I
it.
did not use a ruler, but it works.
Now, the question is, some of the names that I contributed here are on here for historical importance. Do I go with that, or do I go with something a little bit more modern sensibility that I think Jimmy will like?
I mean, the first pick should be like the number one thing that
Yeah, the
you're
one
thinking
that
that
you
you're.
want.
I'm
The
going
thing-
to like.
No,
best,
it should
right?
be the thing that I think has the greatest chance of winning.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Showdown. Okay, I'm going to go with something that is more recent. That is one of the funnier things that I've seen as far as just like belly laughs on this board.
I know what he's picking.
And also, it's very much in the cultural zeitgeist right now. The first pick of the draft is I Think You Should
I knew it. I was gonna say it. I knew he was gonna pick that.
The Tim Robinson sketch comedy series on Netflix that has just been announced with a season 2.
So what drives me fucking crazy, like that show is great, and it is 1,000 times zanier than Auntie Donna, which Dan can't handle.
It's not.
Auntie Donna's not on here, by the way, because we already did it. So now I gotta pick 2. So this is where the strategy comes in, because now you can pick what you want to go against that. Oh, I gotta go with the classic. I'm going with one that Dan and I both love. We've seen live before. This is my number 1 pick, so I'm glad he didn't pick it first. Kids in the Hall.
That's a good one.
Oh, interesting.
Let's see. Jimmy, please don't clear your throat. It makes me want to clear my throat. Oh, there's some tough ones on here. Okay, for the third pick, I'm gonna go with something that has a little bit of a historic importance, especially in the world of sketch comedy. May not have reached the largest audience, But I think their fingerprints are all over modern day comedy in general.
Can I guess?
No.
Okay.
Dan, turn around. That's my guess.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
For the third pick in the draft, I am selecting the Upright Citizens.
Oh, that's not what I thought.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's going to be a very difficult one. I might just do a burn vote. I don't know what would beat that, except for maybe Kids in the Hall. But that's tough, too, because, like, I want Kids in the Hall to win.
Well, Jeff, this is what I'm going to suggest to you. In the world of sports, when you're in that situation where it seems like a no-win, go with the Hail Mary. Go with something wild that Jimmy might hate, but that could come from behind to win it all.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, but there's also an easy pick if it's still there by the time we get to 6. So for number 4, that's Number Wang.
Oh, I like it. That was going to be one of mine.
That Mitchell and Webb look. It's a British sketch comedy show that's been on our it's been on our schedule before.
Yeah.
But things just came up. So
Our
that's
first British series. We've got one Canadian.
Okay.
Now we start talking about seeding here. So what do I think can go against that Mitchell and Webb look and take it? This is tough.
This is really tough because there's 3 that I definitely want to use, but I only have 2 slots left, and I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that I want to use.
Jeff, you're missing an option.
Which option?
Stella.
I didn't put it on there because I didn't consider it a sketch show. If you want to, we can use it.
I guess it's a little more formatted.
If you want to take the state and just cross it off and put Stella, we can do that because it's like the same people.
No, I think you actually raise a good point about Stella. It's actually long form.
Yeah, there are sketches in it, but
Jimmy, you should edit this out.
It is more long. Keep it in. We're
I'm
talking
keeping it.
comedy, baby.
I like it.
Stella's great. We can do an entire episode on just Stella.
All right, I'm going to go with one that's a little... You know what? Let's go crazy. I'm changing my mind. In the words of Prince, let's go crazy. I'm going to go against the Brits with the Brits.
Little Britain.
Little Britain.
And Little Britain USA is included.
I was going to say, we're going to throw in Little Britain USA.
If you want to, you can do both. That's going to be...
The Brit bracket.
That's a pretty strong one. That can go either way. I think I'm still going to win it. But so now I have to do 6. So I have to go up against Upright Citizens Brigade. So there's a couple things I can do here. I can... Oh, man. I can go with one that will likely win. Is a very popular one that everybody loves, that for some reason Jimmy hasn't seen.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Dark Horse.
Or I can go with one... I'm gonna go with the underdog here. I'm going with a show that I love, that if other people have heard of it, they don't know too much about it. Dan, I don't even know if you've seen it. Human Giant.
I haven't.
Ooh.
This is going to be a very controversial bracket because some of the biggest names
aren't being picked.
I know.
The other option was Chappelle Show. I think that was a strong one. Like Chappelle Show and Key and Peele, they could easily win this whole thing.
There's so many like big important shows. Like everyone loves The State. Everyone loves Mr. Show. Oh man.
I mean, we might have to do a second showdown.
It could happen.
We'll see.
SCTV is historical. But Jeff,
Yeah.
I mean, this can't stay on the board any longer. If anyone has a chance of beating Kids in the Hall.
Son of a bitch. That's a powerhouse episode, everybody. That's a tough one.
Chappelle Show as the 7th pick in the draft.
Wow.
Can't believe it fell that far.
That means that Kids in the Hall or Chappelle Show are going to get knocked off in their first round.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Fucking crazy. And Dan, you just mentioned it. The other one that I knew I was going to pick no matter what on this board, and it just so happens to be against I Think You Should Leave, and I think that the weirdness of this show actually has a chance. Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Okay.
Doing that, Bob Odenkirk, very much in the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah, that's a tough.
I'm not putting Bob and David on here, which was the Netflix revival,
Yeah.
which was amazing. We're just going to stick with the OG.
Wow.
So this is our bracket.
Jeff, I think we should clear off the non-picks.
We will.
And no, right now, and discuss
Okay.
Portlandia. That's a show that's close to my heart. I love the Fred Armisen vehicle, and I'm going to Portland this year. And
Yeah, and let's alternate, please.
yeah.
Fucking God. Monty Python's Flying Circus. You gotta love it. Like, this is...
Possibly the birth of sketch comedy.
I mean, It's crazy we didn't pick this.
Sculpted the British humor for decades to come. I'll let you talk about that one.
Okay.
SCTV, Second City TV. This is a big one. Not a lot of Americans have seen this. It didn't air too much in the late 70s. Hugely important for Canadian comedy.
Yeah.
The cast is like out of
Eugene
control.
Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Rick Moranis, John Candy.
Yeah.
The list
Say John
goes on. I'll talk about the state because Dan wants me to. MTV show, which Human Giant is too. But that's so many people you know, like from Wet Hot American Summer, Michael Ian Black, Michael Showalter. Like, you've seen everybody in the show before. Jimmy, you've seen them. Just look at Wikipedia. I'm not listening.
They've also like gone on to write a ton of comedy films, which people don't realize.
They're still in so many different things. Reno 911, it's like that whole crew.
Kroll Show is one that I almost picked. This is a show that I think was on 2 seasons. Nick Kroll, John, I'm forgetting his last name. John Mulaney. Really funny show. They launched Oh, Hello, which Jeff and I actually saw on Broadway.
I'm going to do a twofer right here. Let's do a twofer.
Blast through it.
Ben Stiller and Andy Milonakis show. More MTV sketch comedy shows. So the Ben Stiller show was... Ben Stiller was on SNL for like a few episodes, and I don't remember, it was either right before or right after. I think he got fired and then created the Ben Stiller show, which had like Janine Garofalo on it, and who the fuck else was on it? I don't know. It was like an early
Andy
90s.
Dick.
Yeah, Andy Dick, that's it. Andy Milonakis is kind of like when Tom Green was around doing his crazy shtick, Andy Milonakis came around, and it was on for a few seasons, right? It was just really absurd sketch comedy, man on the street stuff. Another twofer. Dan, if you don't mind me taking this.
Go ahead.
Mad TV and Key and Peele. Key and Peele were both cast members on Mad TV.
I didn't know that, actually.
Mad TV was on for like almost 20 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
It was like the edgy 90s SNL. You know, a lot of people got their start on there. Artie Lang was on there.
Other people that you'd recognize?
Will Sasso. There are a lot of people that are on there that are really cool.
I'm surprised neither of you picked Key and Peele because from what I've seen of Key and Peele, I think it's very funny.
Never watched Key and Peele.
Wow. Jimmy, you haven't either?
I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen sketches.
We're doing a whole episode on Key and Peele then.
Okay.
I mean, arguably, I'm already talked into them, so I mean, keeping this out of there probably makes sense.
Inside Amy Schumer is a show that had a lot of big and like groundbreaking sketches. It sort of feels like a sequel to Chappelle Show in the way that it's formatted.
Well, everything after Chappelle. I mean, as bad as it is, Mind of Mencia, and more so Key and Peele had the same format with the live audience introducing skits.
Yeah. She's a little bit out of the cultural zeitgeist right now, we will say, but...
Speaking of being out of the cultural zeitgeist, we have the show that launched the career of J-Lo and Living Color. I used to watch
I would have gone with Jamie Foxx.
No, that was the joke.
Yeah.
She was a background dancer in Living Color. I used to watch a show when I was a kid all the time. Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, some of the Weigh-ins, not all of them. There's a lot of them. David Allen Greer.
I was going to say Dag.
Great show. So this is a weird yet powerful board. This is not exactly how I thought it would turn out.
This is going to piss a lot of people off.
It's very weird.
Yeah, this is the most talk me into sketch comedy thing I probably would have ever
This one
guessed.
is powerful.
Yeah.
This one is weird. This is kind of the same type of humor. So this is going to be cool. Like, I don't know who I would pick of those two because I love them so. There are some amazing Human Giant skits.
And then this one guarantees a British comedy troupe getting to the semis.
That's true.
I didn't see that coming either. Like, I like Little Britain. I don't think it's... I didn't think it was going to be a pick here.
This one's going to be fun because I continually confuse these two. Like, I'll remember a sketch premise and then forget who did it.
That's going to be a fun episode.
Jimmy.
All right.
Nardole from Doctor Who is half of Little Britain.
Yeah.
One of the worst characters.
Yes, he's not good.
All right, Jeff. I wish you luck and good fortune in the
Our
worst to
hands
come.
just farted when we
I wish you good fortune in the wars to come.
Me too. Like, I'm not even mad at who will win. If Little Britain wins all of it, I'll be mad. If anything else wins, I won't be. So this isn't like...
It's not as hateful as our last or our last showdown.
No, this is going to be weird.
All right. So listen to the episodes every week in August.
Fucking weirdo. Okay.